those that are taking supplements and those that aren't. There's a clear difference in results.
And that lets you save. Who cares?
Welcome to a brand new edition of Ageless Energy, where we talk about how to burn fat, increase energy, and balance hormones for women over 40. Over the past 20 years as a performance coach, I've worked with hundreds of women that have the exact same struggles you do. I hope to shine some light with this podcast on what can be the most challenging time of your life and let you know there is hope to find success with your health and what you're looking for. Please share and enjoy. Good morning, everyone. Today we're talking about how to revamp your supplements. I'm super excited to talk about this because we had a lot of questions come in over the last weeks, months. I hear this quite often about wasting your money on a number of supplements, having a whole cupboard or pantry full of vitamins, not knowing which to use, what to buy. And it's challenging. It's a challenging thing because there's so much. And with anything like this, unfortunately, there's so much junk on the market. I mean, how else can you say that? There's so much noise, so much nonsense, so much things that you shouldn't be consuming and shouldn't be buying. And I'm here to help out. I think it's challenging for some people to take action. So I got my morning shake. We just did a whole group coaching call in our private MAP for our private MAP members on shakes, smoothies, protein isolates, and meal replacements. So when I get questions that come in, I appreciate questions, because if questions didn't come in, I wouldn't know what you guys are asking about. And almost every single time someone has one question, the same question comes in repeatedly. So it's on people's minds, right? So that helps us create content for you. And we appreciate that. So, what was interesting is I have this conversation. So I'm fortunate to be in a community of online coaches, and everyone's working towards one thing, like building your online fitness, nutrition business online. And it's really cool. Like, I get a chance to see what other people are doing, get advice. Like, community is everything. That's why when I talk about health, fitness, nutrition, wellness, you need a supportive group that lifts you up, that can get you faster. They can get you there in a shorter amount of time. That changes your environment, changes your mindset. So many benefits. And I have that. I believe that as well. That's why I try to put myself in the environments where I want to grow and flourish. And that's why I try to portray that message to you guys, because I know how important that is to be around a supportive community. Maybe like this one here. We have our MAP membership, for example, but there's other areas where you should be if you want to grow in that area. So, and here's the thing is that I often get this I got this from our coaches, from the coaching staff, that was like, basically say, don't get into supplements. And then I get that from other coaches or trainers that are like, I wouldn't recommend supplements. But there's a point to this story. And then on top of that, they don't believe in supplements. So that's leveling. So they don't think you should be selling supplements, and then you level up and their client shouldn't be taking supplements. And the problem there is that's the lack of knowledge. And I feel like, it depends where you go, right? But I feel like you guys have the opportunity to learn from someone who's been doing this for 20 years. And for those, so I understand the coaching aspect. So the coaching aspect, we've been doing this for over 10 years. A lot of times they're working with new people and they're just trying to figure out the fitness business. So they're trying to figure out the fitness business, which is hard. Like, it's a hard grind. I just put this whole write-up about how I started in the personal training world. I grew up in the gym, personal training, fitness classes before I transitioned almost over 8 years ago. So close to 10 years, we're going to be 100% online, besides the sports and conditioning I did with local teams, colleges, etc. But, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. I guess what I was getting at is that, so the coaching, they're telling you just focus on fitness, just do one thing, because that's hard enough. And then you put another layer on top of that of supplementation. So for us, we have to, so think about budgeting for yourself, right? So you have to budget for yourself, then you budget maybe for your spouse, kids, family. And then if you have a business, you budget for your employees. On top of that, we're budgeting for inventory. And that's one of the main reasons they tell you to stay away away from it is because of the cost, the financial cost, the time it takes to order product, design product, label, work with manufacturers. Like, that's a whole business. And you'll see that, like, most supplement businesses just do supplements. That's all they do. So I'll get to my point here and we'll jump into the show, is that in most cases, the trainers or coaches, they don't know about supplements. And there's so much junk out there. Their default or go-to is like, just don't take supplements. And I can 100% understand that, because there's so much nonsense out there. And I went through that whole world of your bright blue pre-workout pump and gosh, I've been out of that world so much. Of course you have the big giant protein powders that are full of toxins, which are causing a number of health issues, not just immediately, but for in the future as well, which we'll talk about. But there's just so much nonsense. And for someone else that didn't kind of grow up in it, they're trying to figure out fitness, and then they're like, and there's supplementation. My gosh, there's just too much. There's no way they could keep up. And it's true. So I feel like you guys are in good hands here, because I know supplements very well, because I've been doing them for so long. And I can understand when other people, coaches in particular, are like, don't supplement. And I'm like, a younger me would have been like, you have no idea what you're talking about. But a wiser, more experienced me understands that they just lack that knowledge. So that's why they're saying don't take it. If they had knowledge of proper supplementation, and they saw what we see from the messages that come in of people appreciating or telling us the benefits and results they've seen, to our one-on-one clients, that it's a clear difference, those that are properly supplementing and those that aren't. There's a clear difference. And if you don't have to use supplements to work with us, I should mention that, but those that are taking supplements and those that aren't, there's a clear difference in results. So at any rate, so when it comes to your supplements in particular, I really appreciate you guys that posted your pictures of your supplements, because that gives me a better idea of what, like, I'm a visual person, I'm a visual learner, so I like to see. So with all these questions coming in about supplements in particular, it's hard to navigate or know exactly what you're dealing with. I almost never ask a question just for likes or just for like algorithms. It's almost always, probably 90% of the time, is to like actually learn and understand what our audience wants and needs and how we can better help you. So when it comes to supplements in particular, now I'm going to dive in here and I'm just checking my notes here. So the first thing we need to do is have a look at what's in your cupboard. Like, check your inventory. I know that maybe sounds like an oversimplification, but I heard from so many people that say, I don't even know what's in there, or I got to knock the cobwebs off or dust them off. If you have supplements that are way back in the pantry or in the back of your cupboard and you haven't looked at them for weeks, months, years, there's a very good chance those could be tossed. Now, I do want to mention, I'm not one of those people like Jillian Michaels or like those ones that are on TV, and of course they're Hollywood based. I don't have a problem with her. I just mean, like, that's a TV show. That's The Biggest Loser. Then people come to us and they're like, how come I'm not losing 20 pounds in 2 days? And I'm like, that's Hollywood. That's not real life. And to be real with you, there's clear research and clear studies from those people that have been on those types of shows gain all their weight back and more. Huge percentages, almost all of them. Because of the environment then they're in, because they have a personal trainer, personal chef, and someone's pushing them to their limit every single day. And then they leave that environment. That's why I talked about environment. So it's so important at the beginning of the show. But you take them out of that environment and put them back into that environment that brought them to, in most cases, morbidly obese. And then what happens? Of course, like, this is fit, healthy, one-on-one coaching, trainers, knowledge, and then back to nothing. Of course they're going to gain weight back. But that's not, like, they don't say this is sustainable. This is going to change your life forever. They say, let's get you the biggest loser, and that's it. And then you gain your weight back, right? In most cases. So I'm not one of those people that's like, this is my point, is that grab a garbage bag, dump all your stuff, all your supplements, like everything in your pantry, throw in the garbage bag, and you're off. That's not what we're about. We want you to sustainably make changes in your life so you can keep them, so they're long-term. So it doesn't make sense for me to be like, just go and dump all your supplements in the trash and start all over. That's not what we're about. So I would highly suggest you pull every one of your supplements or vitamins. When I say supplements, I'm talking about your vitamins as well, but pull them all out and put them clearly on the counter so you can go through them. And just have a look at them, like, how long has that been sitting there? Why do you have that one? I'm going to get into some more details as well, but that's the first thing that you got to do, is bring it out instead of hiding them back into the back corner. Now, I used to have an entire tackle box full of supplements. That's what they taught us, and I didn't feel very great. Low quality, cheap supplements, not clean ingredients. I didn't know any different. Like, I had that mindset, like most people, all supplements are created the same. That caused health issues for me, which is why I'm so passionate about clean supplements can make a big difference in your life. I actually went full on with supplements, everything I could possibly get my hands on, and then I realized that was doing damage on my body, and then I took a huge step back and removed all supplementation, and I just looked at food. And I still believe food heals, cures, prevents. That's why we have a deep knowledge in not just supplementation, but food in particular. And then I started building back up with the cleanest supplements I could find, with the cleanest ingredients, proper processing, third-party tested, etc. So I went completely like 360 from really low quality supplements to zero supplements and just focusing on food to now food and supplementation was step by step and growing my repertoire or growing my inventory of clean supplements. And we take supplements every day and throughout the day, but we don't have like a pantry or baskets full of supplements. We have a handful of good quality supplements that we take. And I think that's my message for you, is that I'm going to tell you what I would do if I was in your situation. I'm not telling you what you should do. You have to make the best decision for yourself. But I'll tell you what I would do or what I would probably recommend if I was in your situation, because I mean, first of all, we all have to make our own decisions. That's A. And B, I'm not here to be like, you should do this. I'm just going to tell you what I would suggest you should probably do, or at least what makes most sense to me from my experience. So if you're not using if you're not using the supplement, just get rid of it. Like there's no reason for it to hold on to it. Used to do this with clothes. Like we have a small closet. Dorothy and I actually share one single closet of clothes. Sounds crazy, I know, because people have multiple closets. At any rate, for a different topic. But if I used to say, I got to get rid of this t-shirt. And then I'm like, I don't want to get rid of it. But I'm not wearing it. So I should start wearing it. Then I wear it one time and then never wear it again for months. So I'm like, if I'm not wearing this, I'm just going to get rid of it. And I would suggest with the same with your supplementation. And I'm going to explain why in a second here. But if you're not using it or don't have any plans of using it, if you bought it for a sale, discount, years ago, you forgot about it, why is it sitting there? It's just taking up space. You can toss it. That's not exactly wasting money, in my opinion. It's wasting space in your life and in your home. So when it comes to clutter in particular, we're big fans of simplifying. And that's actually our word for this year is focus and simplifying. And we talk about this with our MAP members. We asked everyone to pick a word for their year and focus on that. And we do that every year. We pick a new word and then we focus on that. And that brings us back. Any decisions are much more simpler. Simple and focus. Every decision we make is based around that word. And it can change. But for us, we like to focus on that for 1 year. And then next year, it's something different. But when we're talking about simplifying your life, there's so much clutter in your life. There's so many things that are unnecessary, from clothing to garages that are filled, basements, rooms, closets. They're filled. They're jam-packed. So, and usually with things that are less than quality, because if they're good quality, you're probably going to use it. Like, the more money I spend on something, the better chance I'm going to use it and use it often. That's just how I feel about spending money. I don't like to spend money on cheap things that I'm not going to use, that's going to break, that's going to, that we have to be replaced very quickly, very easily. I would spend more on better quality that I can keep. That's not going to take up a bunch of space because there's a bunch of them laying around. But when you create space in your life, you allow room for abundance. And I talked about this recently when, I think maybe in the past show, I talked about the negative, on the detox show. I talked about the negative people that are cluttering your life. And then we're like, I don't have friends, or I don't have people to support me. I don't have support at home with my family, friends, coworkers. It's because your life is so jam-packed with clutter and nonsense. And I think how we do one thing is how we do everything. So if you have a basement that you never use full of stuff, that represents other areas of your life. Same thing with your closet. Same thing with your car, like your trunk, your back seat. Why is there junk in there? Like, why is there clutter in there? That is filling up your life with less than the substances that you want. So once you clear that out, you allow room for abundance in your life in other areas. So I would suggest getting rid of those supplements or those vitamins that are just taking up space And that will allow you room for better quality supplements. And I'm talking about your lifestyle and your mindset as a whole. That's how we live. That's how we teach. It's not just like, okay, get rid of that supplement, throw it in the garbage because I don't want you to use it. It's going to affect your health. That's very surface level. But if you want to go deeper and look at a holistic approach to your lifestyle, improving from the inside out, understand that the less clutter, the less junk you have in your life, the less you're bombarded with that type of stuff. So if you want better quality friends, if you want more financial abundance, if you want to be more successful in whatever realm it is that you're working towards, you need to create space to allow that in first, right? So when you get rid of those supplements or vitamins that are just sitting there, you're probably not using, you allow room or space for better to come in. And your vision will change. You'll say, oh, I actually have some space in my cabinet now. Maybe I'll go to the supplement section and grab something that I need and want, and then I'll start adding that to my cabinet instead. So my next segment here is explaining that name brands are probably something that you should start paying attention to. So when we go to the grocery store, we start to look at name brands. So when we first start working with our clients, they'll say it takes much longer to grocery shop because they're not just grabbing anything and tossing it in their cart. Now they're looking for better quality ingredients. They're could be looking for macros. If we're like, grab a Greek yogurt that has 20 grams of protein or whatever it is. So now you're looking at macros, you're looking at cleaner ingredients, and it's taking longer to start shopping and get your groceries. But we are providing a grocery shopping list so you know exactly what you're buying. And then you go and prepare or use those exact foods so you actually save money on the back end instead of buying stuff you're not going to use, you're going to waste, throw away. Again, this lifestyle approach that we're talking about. So when you're going to the supplement section, I got to tell you this one time, I'll tell you this real quick. I went to the pharmacy and I just wandered down the supplement or the vitamin aisle, the vitamin supplements, and I just wanted to see what they had. And I was so overwhelmed. I looked and I was like, and I hadn't been in there in months, maybe years, and I was like, what is all this junk? And I just looked at this endless supply of all these vitamins, and I was like, how could anyone sift through this? And I'd actually watched a few people come to the aisle and they'd look around and they'd pick up different bottles and then they'd put them back on the shelf and walk away because they were overwhelmed. They had no idea what to buy. And that's the challenge, is that you go to a place like that and unfortunately, they don't have the best quality in mind. They don't have the best, there's no other way to say it. They have their margins in mind. Like, they need to keep their store open and they'll bring on products that give them the best margins. So what I mean by that is if it costs them $5 to buy wholesale to stock and they can mark it up to $35, they're going to make $30 per unit. If you have another company that comes along, and we've been in the health food store, and I'd imagine the pharmacies are even worse or even harder to get into than the health food stores. But so if we bring in a product and we'll say we'll sell it to you for $10 and you can mark it up to $35, they make less of a margin. So they're less likely to take your product. Even if it's cleaner, healthier, who knows? It might even taste better. Probably not, because they put all the sugars and synthetics in there. But it could be a better quality product. But if they can make more money on it, they're going to take the products that make more money. So you see this onslaught of all these really low quality products because those cheap ingredients are cheap to source for the manufacturers. So their margins are huge. They can go to the pharmacies, or they can go to the grocery stores or health food stores and say, we'll give you a huge margin if you carry our products. And of course, they got to keep their stores open. And that's what they're built around. So that'll give you some ideas of why you see all those cheap supplements on the rack. So if you go to the dollar store, for example, you'll see Jameson name brand. So understanding the back end of the industry, it's just common sense. Like, it's very clear why those Jameson name brands are carried by the dollar store. So you don't go to the dollar store and buy your supplements. I wouldn't suggest going to Costco, probably not going to the pharmacy, certainly not going to the discount rack. It's on the discount rack for a reason. It's either just about to expire or no one's buying it, probably because it's not working or it's low quality. So they have to blow it out. They're trying to make some money before they have to throw it in the garbage can. And I see all the time people are going to buy Kirkland brand, Jameson brand, or you see like the clearance stickers on their bottles. Like, that's probably not the best quality. So I want you to start paying attention to name brands in particular. We hope we get to a point, like branding is important, of course. We hope we get to a point where if someone wants something and they see our name brand, true form, or our logo, they know and they believe in our company, in our mission, that that's a clean product. And then you can grab that and you can put in your cart. Just like when I'm talking about groceries in particular. Like once you start to know name brands, it's not going to take you as long to grocery shop. You know exactly where to go, what aisles, where to find that particular item you're looking for. You see the name brand, you don't have to read the ingredients. You don't have to, you don't even have to check the macros. You just pull it off the shelf, put in your cart, and you go. And once our clients start to get an idea of their meal plan, what they have in their house, and they're going grocery shopping with a list, it's like, just like click, check, 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 check. This is what I got, and they're off. And they're not wasting hours in the grocery store trying to figure out what to buy. That's probably going to be wasted anyways. So I know that's a lot. That's one of my suggestions, is that you should start paying attention to the name brands and not just buying because it's on sale or because you don't know any better. Now you know better, so now you can do better. I wouldn't shop at the dollar store for supplements. I wouldn't buy Jameson name brand. Now, you guys will see now that's a yellow label bottle. Those are usually the cheapest supplements around. I always have to ask myself, if it's that cheap, even with cleaner ingredients, how can they get it so cheap, right? So now Jameson and Kirkland are probably brands that I wouldn't consume, I wouldn't buy. So hopefully that's helpful and saves you time when you go and buy something, and you don't have to look at all the ingredients, you don't have to look at the price. It's not going to be whatever you pay for it, it's not going to be worth that value. Okay, the next one is we have to look at what you actually need. Like, what is it? Like, what is the benefit that you're looking for? So we have magnesium. Let's just use one of our products. Magnesium's our bestseller. So you look at magnesium and you say, what can it offer? The 4 main reasons people use our magnesium is for chronic pain, sleep, digestion, and energy. So I can be very clear with you about that. Now understand that magnesium has over 300 enzymatic functions in the body. It also works more as an adaptogen. So wherever you're lacking mostly in your body, that's going to show up. So these are the 4 main, but there's other ones is what I'm saying. So for example, if you're lacking sleep and you have a really hard time falling asleep or having a deep sleep, you notice it more than someone that has chronic pain. So they have chronic pain and they start taking magnesium and they're like, well, this helps me more with chronic pain. And someone else says, this helps me more with sleep issues. So it's dependent on the person, because there's so much value or so many different benefits that a magnesium can offer. So that's just an easy one. So of course, if you're looking at a protein, that's an easy one. Like, I need to increase the protein, or I need to help balance my macros. Maybe a coach told you that, or maybe you know that you don't get enough protein in. So you say, I'm going to supplement with a proper protein supplement. You go and buy a protein powder, right? Most people know that. The problem with protein powders is they come with so much other junk and nonsense. Like, you're going to have your rancid oils, you're going to have sucralose, you're going to have coloring, flavoring, preservatives. Like, the protein industry is pretty difficult. Like, it's fully bombarded with really low quality ingredients and products. And then the problem is that they have brought the mindset down so low. It's the same thing with oils. Like, there's so much junk that's low quality. People think it's normal to spend $7 on a bottle of oil, right? It's the same thing, like you have those Costco or Popeyes brands. So now, because there's so much junk out there, people think it's normal to buy a huge, and I did it myself when I was in college, but a huge thing of protein for $30, and then we sell 15 servings for $30, and people are like, whoa, why can't I go buy this big giant one? I'll just do that. But that's how the industry has changed our mindsets to help you believe that that you can get a good quality protein supplement for a really low price and a lot of it. So you have to ask yourself what else is in it to allow them to have that much volume at such a cheap price.
One of the things I would like to ask of you guys is that some of you know that I don't run ads on the show and don't plan on in the immediate future. So the only ask I have for you is that you help us spread the word so we can help more women burn body fat, increase energy, and balance their hormones. And the only way that we can do that is if you can rate and review this podcast. So the single thing that I could have you do or could ask of you is to leave a review. It'll take 5 minutes or one swipe of the thumb. It would mean the absolute world to me. And more importantly, you could change the world for someone else. As many of you know, there's plenty of women that struggle in this age group for balancing hormones, increasing energy, and burning body fat. So if you could help spread the word, that would make a big difference in our life and probably someone else's as well.
Okay, so when you're going to your shop to get your supplements, I wouldn't suggest going to well, I guess I already said that. I wouldn't suggest going to those certain areas. Like you're going to a discount rack. I'm going to go see what's on sale, what bargain I can find when it comes to supplements. You're probably not getting much of a bargain if you're looking for you're definitely not getting a bargain if you're looking for the cheapest ones. But if you're looking for the discount rack, that's you're not going to get what you pay for. You're not going to get the value that you think you're going to get. So I want to take a step back and talk about you're buying supplements for the things that you need, right? So what are the things or what are the benefits that you want? Instead of, oh, so-and-so, I hear this all the time, every week. So-and-so told me I should be taking this. What do you think about that? And I'm like, who's so-and-so? Where did they get their information from? And is it valid? Like, is there any research or any more knowledge or understanding about that, right? If you go to a naturopathic doctor, of course, they're going to have more understanding of natural supplements. If you go to a conventional doctor, they're not going to have a deep understanding of natural supplements unless they have, in most cases, they don't, but unless they have some type of research or knowledge behind, but that's very rare. You could go to I asked multiple pharmacists just to see what they would say about magnesium. Very limited understanding because they're in a different industry, right? They do a very good job at what they do. But I hear all the time people are going to doctors or let me check with my pharmacist or what, and that's fine. I'm not telling you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying, would you go to a bakery and ask for tires? Like it doesn't really make sense. Or you go to the tire shop and say, what cake would you recommend? So you have to go to the right places to purchase, to get your knowledge and understanding. So if somebody said, or if it was a commercial on TV, or if you read in a magazine, right? Like there has to be some substance to why you're doing the things that you want or doing the things that you're doing. So that's why we see our cabinets fully cluttered with a bunch of junk and nonsense we don't need. So you're going to start filling your cabinets with better quality. That's what I would suggest first. If you have room, instead of starting to throw everything away, start buying better quality first. Okay, that's number one. And then remove the things that you're not using. Like if you haven't used it in months or years and probably don't plan on it, then just get rid of it. It's just taking up space, right? So allow room for better quality to come in. And then the third step is for you to start buying for your specific needs. And I know there's different levels of purchasing. I took a course, sales or psychological course, and you have different buyers, right? Like buyers buy for different reasons. I know we have a good percentage of people that buy on impulse, they buy on sale. Someone told me to buy this, whatever. We're not going to do that anymore. You're going to do some research and understand why you're buying something instead of grabbing something because it was on sale, because Joey's sister's mom told you should probably start taking that, and understanding that quality. You're going to specific places, not just going to the dollar store or the cheapest place because the supplements are cheaper there. Those supplements do more damage than good. I actually heard someone say one time, just go and grab this one, something's better than nothing. And I'm like, where did that come from? Like I really, to my core, I believe quality is always better than quantity. I would rather have far less of just about anything I can think of at the top of my head to have less of something that's better quality instead of a lot of something that's really low quality. I don't know if that would be value for anything. Maybe something. A couple things I'll add here before I let you guys go is omegas is something I wanted to mention because I know a lot of people have those in their cupboards and cabinets. Your omegas, here's an unfortunate fact, is that if you have omegas that don't need to be, like fish oils that don't need to be stored in the fridge, they're rancid. Many, like your Kirkland, many of those really cheap, low quality, those really cheap fish oils that come from those low quality companies. I shouldn't say that. Like Costco has some really good quality stuff. I think their meats are pretty good. I think like sometimes they need like special packaging. They require special packaging, so sometimes they only take better quality types of stuff. So they have quality products. It's just when it comes to supplements, I see very low. I don't go through all of them, of course, but I see very low quality supplements when I go there. So I don't love the Kirkland brand when it comes to supplements. So your fish oil, if it doesn't need to be stored in the fridge, your fish oil should also be in a dark container, right? Not plastic, and not on the shelf. It's just like it's an oil. Your oil, like the sun negatively affects your oils. So all of your oils need to be stored in a dark, cool place. Not your MCT oil, not refrigerated, but your fish oil needs to be refrigerated. If it's plastic, clear bottle, if it doesn't need to be refrigerated, rancid. That's causing inflammation, which causes chronic pain, probably digestion issues. So if you have any oil, fish oils that's sitting in the back of the cupboard and you haven't used them for months or years, I can safely say you're better off tossing that out. I'm not a big fan of multivitamins. Multivitamins usually have additives and fillers, and they usually have a really low concentration of every vitamin. Like there's just so little that there's such a small amount because they jam pack so much in. You don't get enough of it to make a difference in your health. So, like, not obviously, sorry, I don't like that word, but Centrum nonsense, Flintstone Kids nonsense, like those mainstream ones that have billions on and they're able to advertise on TV, usually probably not the best idea. So I would not choose multivitamin if it was me. Not telling you shouldn't. You make your own choice. And then, okay, now I see, this is really helpful because now I can see what you're actually having in your cupboards. If you're having a D, you need a T. I see a D, that's Kirkland. I'd probably stay away from that. But if you're having a D, it's got to be with a K2. Otherwise, we got to look at calcification. If you want the calcification show, if you didn't see it, comment below and we'll send you that show. Again, I need a full sentence. Please send me the calcification show. I talked about why you need K2 with D. To avoid calcification, you need a driver to take that D to the places it should go. Of course, with this D, I see a magnesium. If you're taking a D without a magnesium, you're not absorbing the D, okay? So probably not Kirkland and probably not, the other thing is probably not a pill. I would take a liquid as often as possible. It absorbs better. So I would try to get, which we do, we get our D and K in liquid form, not pill form. So hopefully that's helpful. And hopefully you guys don't feel like I'm calling you out here when I'm reading your stuff. I just want to help you out. I guess you wouldn't post if you didn't want help. Some of the stuff I obviously don't know what is. I don't know all the supplements. And like I said, I read ingredients for everything that we purchase. I see a zinc here in pill form. I would take and do take zinc in liquid, more absorbable. Here's a pill that's DK2. Great. Level up with liquid. I don't know what that DE3 is, but and then this one here I'll look at. I'm not saying your names because I don't want to call you out or make you feel like I don't want to make you feel bad. Okay, that just looks like a lot. Just looks like a lot to me. And I think that if we were to really look at people's cabinets, if everyone showed, I feel like most people would have tons of vitamins that they probably don't use, that's stuck in the back of the cupboard, that's old, expired. Like, you know, when your pills are like stuck at the bottom or like stuck together and you gotta like bang them out. I've been there too. Like, those can probably be tossed. I think I would look at food. I would look at food before more supplementation. So I feel like a lot of people try to out supplement a bad diet, but I feel like we try to out supplement a bad diet. I would look at food first. That's how we're always been, even though we sell supplements. You need to have a solid foundation of food and then you supplement in. So a lot of people don't eat anything and they're like, oh, I'll just supplement, right? So some of these supplements that I see you could probably get a better food source. It's more digestible, absorbable, utilizable for your body. At any rate, I think that's probably enough about that. And that's it. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye.